the system passed judgment on her, and I was happy with the outcome, that it was out of my hands. She was found guilty and she did 100 hours community service. I had no wish or no wanting or no desire to hear her sentence. I didn't see the point of hearing a verdict, or at that stage I just didn't want to see her face.
To me, it wasn't about the time that he got. I think he got 7 years or something. It was about the fact that he got found guilty and he has been sentenced to prison. After that, I just really felt like I could hold my head up and get out in this town again.
Victims will be advised of the sentencing date, and if they want to come along, they can. And at times, victims even read their own victim impact reports in court.
I really got to say how I felt, how it had impacted on my life, how it had nearly destroyed my life, how it had impacted on my family, my friends, my relationship.
I did a victim impact statement, and I think it was a great release for me to express how I felt. It helped release a lot of hurt that I was holding in, and to express that onto paper was really good.
A number of people can help a victim write their victim impact statement. It could be the officer in charge of the case, or a victim support worker, or a victim's court advisor, or even a counsellor. The defendant gets the opportunity to read the victim impact statement, but they don't get a copy of it, and it needs to get returned to the police prosecutor.
At sentencing, the judge will consider your victim impact statement. You can also ask for you or someone else to read all or part of your statement out loud in court.
If a victim wants to read their victim impact statement, they need to make sure that the officer in charge or the prosecutor knows ahead of time so that the judge knows.
The views of a victim are very important in that sentencing process. I also have to weigh up the public interest, and then I have to weigh the factors relevant to an offender to determine what is the most appropriate sentence I can impose in this particular case.
The judge will consider a number of reports, such as a psychological report, an alcohol and other drug assessment report, and a reparation report. You may be contacted by the offender's probation officer to provide information for reports that will be considered for sentencing. There are several possible sentences, including home detention, community work, or supervision with conditions. The sentence could also be a fine or include an order for money to be paid to the victim, called reparation.
And the ultimate penalty is imprisonment.
Some courts offer restorative justice. Restorative justice is the process where if a victim wants to, they can meet with the defendant and they can talk about how the crime affected them.
The good thing about it was the fact that I was able to, for the first time, to see the defendants. I'd at last get to know exactly who played what part, which one of those three. I still didn't know which one had hit me even. And that's when he said, well, it's ruined my life, completely. My family have disowned me. Well, I was able to use that restorative justice to hopefully his redemption. He expressed his great regret. He didn't know what he could do. And he said, I'd like to come out sometime perhaps and do a bit of work on your place. And I said, you'd be most welcome.
The court is not bound by restorative justice outcomes because the court ultimately must make the decision. But where restorative justice processes have been undertaken, the court will seriously consider what has happened.
You can get support throughout the court process. Call the Victims of Crime information line to find out about agencies in your area, or call Victim Support.